I engaged a specialist for my husband's birthday. I lingered at the threshold of the room, observing them intently. She stood near him, and the palpable energy that flowed between them was unmistakable. He cast a fleeting look my way, doubt flickering in his gaze, yet she anchored him with unwavering resolve. Her gaze remained steadfast, leading him with a subtle confidence. A compelling urge beckoned me to advance, to immerse myself in the unfolding scene, to shed the role of a mere spectator. This was his gift, yet I now understood that I was prepared to transcend the role of mere observer. Before we embark on this journey, kindly take a moment to like and subscribe. The channel experiences remarkable growth as a result. I appreciate your presence. Let us embark on this journey. For how long have you been engaged in this endeavor? She remained unyielding. Perhaps 6 years, or even 7. I observed her intently, seeking to decipher the hidden depths beneath her serene exterior. She sat with her legs crossed, hands resting effortlessly in her lap, exuding confidence and comfort, devoid of nerves or the pressure of performance, embodying a serene sense of control. Do you find it acceptable to be observed? Her gaze remained unwavering. Absolutely not. There is a certain charm in the moments when one feels the weight of another's gaze, a reminder of the beauty found in connection. I allowed the response to linger in the space between us, just long enough to sense the warmth radiating from it. Have you ever collaborated with couples? There are many, yet it invariably hinges on who holds the reins of power. I arched an eyebrow. And who might that be, in your opinion? You. She moved forward without a moment's pause. Without a doubt, it's you. It brought a smile to my face, not large. Sufficiently ample. I adjusted my position in the chair, uncrossing my legs. The hem of my dress crept upward. Whether it was deliberate or accidental, I found myself uncertain. She observed, silently observed, allowing time to unfold. What if my desire is simply to observe? I inquired. Rest assured, I will ensure that nothing escapes your notice. That one struck deeper than I anticipated. I inhaled deeply and rose, each movement fluid and intentional. The sound of my heels whispered against the hardwood as I glided toward my bag. I retrieved the envelope, the one we had talked about, and turned to meet her gaze. I extended my hand. She grasped it with a single hand, locking her gaze with mine in silence. I will message you with the time to arrive, I stated. She nodded, anticipation gleaming in her eyes. A moment later, she departed. There's no urgency, no farewell. A fleeting look cast over her shoulder, stretching into a moment that felt more significant than it should have. That evening, I found myself nestled in bed beside my husband. His body pressed against mine, unwavering, known, entwined in a harmonious cadence. His hands settled on my hips, anchoring me as my legs entwined around him, drawing him nearer. I led him with each inhalation, each deliberate movement of my form beneath his. My back arched instinctively, pursuing the crescendo he labored so diligently to create. His lips grazed my throat. I let out a soft moan, one hand tangled in his hair while the other pressed firmly against his chest, sensing the power in every movement. He was striving, pouring his all into the effort. I offered an equal measure in return. I inhaled sharply as the tension shattered, taut, all-consuming, abrupt. He let out a gentle groan, settling into the sheets next to me, warmth lingering in the space between us. We remained motionless, our breaths gradually returning to normal, the atmosphere dense and serene. That was astonishing, he remarked at last. Indeed, I whispered softly. It was truly remarkable. He turned his head, gasping for air. Could that possibly be my early birthday present? My lips brushed against his shoulder. I've orchestrated something truly remarkable for tomorrow. The following evening descended in an instant. The golden light spilled over the hardwood floors, casting a warm and gentle glow. She sat poised on the edge of the couch, ankles crossed, exuding an air of tranquility. She effortlessly filled the room with her presence. Her eyes flickered to the front door. Where could he possibly be? I remain at my post, I remarked. Homeward bound, I should arrive any moment now. She inclined her head ever so slightly. Have you informed him? I gave mine a shake. Not at this moment. He has spent the entire day in a state of speculation. That elicited a subtle smile from her, calculated and aware. She reclined, her arms draped casually over the cushions as if she had perfected this pose 100 times before. Do you genuinely believe he will take the plunge? I do not believe so, I remarked. I am aware. The distance that separated us settled into a gentle murmur, calmly poised, simply in anticipation. She refrained from inquiring further. Observe as the light meanders gently across the floor, followed by the faint dingle of keys. The door creaked ajar. He entered, a bag casually draped over his shoulder, tie askew, jacket absent. He spotted her immediately, his gaze locking onto hers. He came to a halt. Stillness. His eyes darted toward me for a fleeting moment before returning to her. Could this be? I inclined my head in agreement. She is the unexpected delight awaiting you. He blinked, momentarily caught off guard. Are you truly serious? Utterly. The woman stood, poised and self-assured. She glided across the room, coming to a halt before him. Her movements were serene yet intent. He cast his gaze upon me once more. I gave another nod. It's all right, I replied. She is present for you. Her hand lifted, gliding over his cheek with a serene assurance. In silence, she drew closer and pressed her lips against his. It unfolded gradually, with a sense of clarity and purpose. As they separated, he remained motionless, caught in a moment of reflection, inhaling her essence. I moved closer and softly grasped his hand. As I guided them toward the bedroom, I leaned in closer and murmured, "This is your gift." A moment of stillness. Delight in it. The bedroom radiated an unusual warmth. I positioned myself on the couch opposite the bed, my demeanor calm and collected, legs elegantly crossed, every sense heightened in anticipation of what was to come. I had remained mostly silent since our arrival, offering only the necessary words to usher them in, to gently remind him that this was still his moment, and in a different sense, mine as well. She stood near him now, with scarcely an inch of space between them. Her hands glided to the front of his pants, exuding a sense of calm and confidence, each movement deliberate and assured. There was an unwavering grip, a seamless flow, devoid of any faltering or doubt. Her gaze met his for a fleeting moment, neither questioning nor demanding, simply grounding him in that instant. He cast his gaze in my direction, a moment hung in the air. Without uttering a sound, I perceived the unspoken inquiry in his gaze, a final search for affirmation. I nodded, deliberate and assured. That was everything he required. She motioned for him to take a seat at the edge of the bed, then gracefully descended beside him. Her hands glided over his thighs as she drew closer. He exhaled unsteadily, clutching the blanket tightly as his head fell back and his eyes fluttered shut. Any lingering doubt he had vanished completely. Her movements were deliberate, unwavering. She attuned herself to him, reacting to each change in his breath, every delicate signal. A cadence started to emerge, steady and intent, anchoring him firmly in position. I observed, my breath momentarily halted. I repositioned myself, making subtle adjustments. A gentle tension started to swell within me, slowly yet persistently. My hand lay gently on my thigh, concealed beneath the soft fabric of my dress. I did not relocate it. I allowed it to rest there, bracing myself against the mounting tension. After a brief pause, she stood up. Her hand glided upward along his torso as she rose, then deftly approached the buttons of his shirt. She unwrapped each one deliberately, as if she were well acquainted with the rhythm of the process. Bit by bit, his garments slipped away, revealing a chest that rose and fell effortlessly beneath the gentle glow of the room's warm light. At last, the moment arrived for her. She removed her clothing with a fluid elegance. Unassuming yet authoritative, each gesture speaks volumes. Every layer peeled away effortlessly, leaving nothing but emptiness in their wake. With a gentle yet assured motion, she guided him back onto the bed and positioned herself over him. He offered no resistance. She shifted her position, finding a rhythm that mirrored the ebb and flow of his breathing. Each movement was intentional, crafted to foster connection rather than exert control. She remained steadfast, her gaze unwaveringly fixed on him. His hands lingered gently at her waist. His head tilted backward. With each passing moment, his breath deepened, and his body melded with hers, sinking further into the embrace. A gentle sound escaped me, unbidden and delicate. My hand lingered just beneath my dress, still yet undeniably there. I was not disconnected. I experienced it all, the rising tension within me, the warmth that coursed beneath my skin, the yearning that awakened with each look and response. The act of merely observing had lost its allure. The allure was intensifying. I drew my knees together, tightening the space between them. My breath became shallow. She leaned in, pressing herself against his chest for support. A rich, resonant sound emanated from him, deep and abundant. That was the moment. I ascended from the couch, deliberate and measured in my movements. My legs wavered slightly, not due to anxiety, but from the prolonged stillness I had maintained. With one foot forward, I followed with the next. My gaze lingered on them as I traversed the distance that separated us. I had transcended the role of a mere observer. I paused at the brink of the bed, my heartbeat calming, gaze fixed on the pair before me. She gazed down from her position above him, elegant and assured, yet an undeniable warmth flickered in her eyes as they locked with mine. Silently, she withdrew from him and stood up, granting me the distance she understood I required. With a deliberate motion, I advanced. She approached me, her hands lightly grazing my arms before smoothly trailing down my sides. I leaned in and kissed her, with a boldness that left no room for hesitation or caution. The warmth enveloped them, a certainty in the air, a connection that needed no words to be understood. She gave it back completely, her body gently molding against mine. In unison, we pivoted to confront him. He remained perched on the edge of the bed, his chest rising and falling with palpable intensity, eyes wide and alert, tracking every movement, scarcely drawing a breath. We knelt before him. I chose one side, while she opted for the opposite. Our fingers brushed lightly before we found our cadence, alternating, syncing effortlessly, flowing in unison without the need for speech. My lips glided over his skin with deliberate grace, while hers danced in a rhythmic cadence. As I halted, she drew closer, and when she receded, I reclaimed my position once more. His muscles coiled, his legs steadied. One hand clutched the blanket, while the other remained tightly balled at his side. His entire being thrummed with vitality beneath our gaze, yet we flowed together as a singular entity, seamless, rehearsed, intuitive. At last, she stood and offered her hand. I accepted it, and she assisted me in standing tall. She started to remove my clothing, unfastening one strap at a time, each garment cascading to the ground with deliberate grace. Her movements were unhurried, marked by a serene concentration. As I stood completely exposed, she drew closer and kissed me once more, this time with a languid intensity, as if conveying a message that transcended words. I retreated toward the bed, her eyes tracking my movement. Upon arrival, I reclined, my heartbeat calm yet vibrant. She hovered above, her gaze locked onto mine. It seems you couldn't resist the urge to stop merely observing, could you? I smiled, my voice scarcely rising above a whisper. I simply yearned for a more captivating perspective. She glided between my legs, descending with a measured elegance. Her lips sought me softly, every motion deliberate and confident. My head tilted back as her rhythm intensified, neither hurried nor hesitant, simply deliberate. I extended my hand toward the edge of the sheets, anchoring myself in the growing sensation that pulsed steadily beneath my skin. At that moment, he came into view. He ascended onto the bed behind her, each movement deliberate and calculated. His hands found their way to her waist, and gradually, they began to sway in unison. Their rhythm began to crystallize, and I could sense it deeply. Initially understated, gradually becoming more pronounced. Every gesture he imparted to her resonated in the way she swayed against me. With each step, her rhythm shifted, and her concentration intensified. The connection flowed through her. Her breath brushed against my skin, warm and inviting. Her body harmonized flawlessly with his, and the outcome was a wave surging into me, steady, unbroken, expanding. The tension within me surged, not a gradual increase, but a forceful drive forward. My legs drew nearer, my hold on the sheets intensified, and when it enveloped me, it arrived swiftly, piercing in total, a surrender I could not deny. My breath fled in a hurried gasp, my body quaking under her weight. She remained by my side through every moment of it. It was only after I had found my place that she finally raised her gaze. Behind her, his breath came in uneven gasps. His movements had become less precise, now propelled by a sense of urgency. At last, he leaned forward, his forehead gently resting against her shoulder, his entire being settling into a serene stillness. She gently moved aside, with a serene and measured grace. He moved closer, a breath hitching in his throat as he surrendered to the pillow beside me. His fingers intertwined with mine. I offered them a soft embrace. His lips brushed against mine, gentle and prolonged. A smile crept onto my lips as I whispered, my breath still struggling to catch up. Wishing you a joyous birthday celebration. How would you respond if this were your present? Should you welcome it or reject it? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Before you depart, kindly consider liking, subscribing, and tapping the bell icon to ensure you stay updated on what lies ahead. Thank you for tuning in. Until we meet again.